Welcome to episode 6 of Booster Blitz Zendikar Rising Season. Match 1. Bart wins the die roll and starts us off. Chris' first pile contains Veteran Adventurer, a 5/5 human that also counts as a cleric, rogue, warrior and wizard. He also has Bubble Snare, an aura that taps enchanted creature and won't let it untap during its controller's untap step. His last card is Shell Shield, an instant that gives target creature +0/+3 and hexproof until end of turn. Bart's first pile contains Dreadworm, a 5/4 worm horror that gains indestructible until end of turn whenever a land enters the battlefield under his control. He also has Oblivion's Hunger, an instant that gives target creature indestructible until end of turn. His last card is Bright Climb Pathway, a flip land. Bart casts Dreadworm and passes to Chris. Chris casts Bubble Snare, kicked to tap the Dreadworm. He then casts his Veteran Adventurer and passes. Bart plays Bright Climb Pathway and passes. Chris attacks with his Veteran for 5 damage, but before blockers, Bart wants to show his last card and casts Oblivion's Hunger on his tapped Dreadworm, giving it indestructible. Chris also wants to show his last card before winning the match and casts a kicked Shell Shield on his Veteran, giving it +0/+3 and hexproof. Match 2. Chris' second pile contains Mospit Skeleton, a 2/2 plant skeleton that enters the battlefield with 3 +1/+1 counters on it. He also has Marauding Blightpriest, a 3/2 vampire cleric that has each opponent lose 1 life whenever Chris gains life. His last card is Blood Beckoning, a sorcery that lets him return 2 target creature cards from his graveyard to his hand. Bart's second pile contains Kazandu Stomper, a 6/5 beast with trample, and an alternative artwork Ruin Crab, a 0/3 crab. His last card is Spoils of Adventure, an instant that lets him gain 3 life. Bart casts Kazandu Stomper, followed up by a Ruin Crab. He then passes. Chris casts Marauding Blightpriest, followed up by a kicked Mospit Skeleton, which enters the battlefield with 3 +1/+1 counters. He passes to Bart. Bart attacks with his Kazandu Stomper and Chris blocks with the skeleton. Both creatures die. Bart passes. Chris attacks with his priest for 3 damage and Bart jump blocks with his Ruin Crab, letting the crab die. He then passes. At this point, Bart only has a life gain spell left and scoops. Match 3. Chris' third pile contains a Planeshift reprint, courtesy of the list. Alpha Kavu, a 2/2 Kavu with the activated ability to gain +1/-1 until end of turn. He also has an alternative artwork, Akoum Hellhound, a 0/1 elemental dog that gets +2/+2 until end of turn whenever a land enters the battlefield under his control. His last card is Dauntless Unity, an instant that gives his creatures +2/+1 until end of turn. Bart's third pile contains Seagate Banneret, a 1/2 core warrior with an activated ability that gives all his creatures +1/+1 until end of turn and can be activated as often as he wants, thanks to the infinite mana clause of Booster Blitz. He also has a Scourge Rider, a 4/3 human warrior with haste. His last card is Journey to Oblivion, an enchantment that exiles any non-land permanent until the enchantment leaves the battlefield. Bart casts Scourge Rider, kicked to give it haste. Chris asks if he's already dead, which becomes clear when Bart follows up with Seagate Banneret. He activates the ability 9,001 times.
It's over 9,000! What?
And attacks with the Rider for the win. Match 4. Chris' fourth pile contains an alternative artwork, Jace, Mirror Mage, a planeswalker that produces a token copy of itself with 1 loyalty when it was kicked, and that lets him either scry 2 or draw a card. He also has Field Research, a sorcery that draws him 3 cards. His last card is Into the Royal, an instant that lets him return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Bart's fourth pile contains Canopy Baloth, a 4/3 beast that gets +2/+2 until end of turn whenever a land enters the battlefield under Bart's control. He also has Smite the Monstrous, an instant that destroys target creature with power 4 or greater. His last card is a mountain. Chris casts Field Research, drawing 3 cards from empty library. He then casts Jace, Mirror Mage, Kicked, creating a token copy of Jace. He then casts Into the Roil on the original Jace, returning it to his hand. Recasts Jace with Kicker again, creating another copy. He then activates all 3 Jace's first ability, scrying 2 3 times. Chris passes. Bart casts Canopy Baloth and passes. Chris again scries for 2 3 times and passes. Bart plays his mountain, making his Baloth a 6/5, attacks for lethal and wins the match. The end. With 2 wins each, the 6th game is a draw, but there's still 9 games to go to decide the winner of the Booster Blitz Zendikar Rising season. If you enjoyed the video, it would mean a lot to us if you like this video and subscribe. It really helps grow the channel. See you next time.